Hello again from day one of the RISE conference here in Hong Kong. We've had Yali Saar, who's flying in straight from Israel. You have a much more complicated name, but you simplified it for me. Thank you. And that sounds a lot like a business. You automate and simplify, the marketing and branding process for small businesses and startups. But there are three areas that you specifically specialize in: logo design, copywriting, and social media, right? But I'm just curious, how much automation does a startup need? Because most of them are single product focused, not very complicated like a big conglomerate.
So I think the needs for a small company today are not very different than that of a big company. Because at the end of the day, us as consumers, and especially if you're launching a consumer-facing business, you don't really know how big is a company when you go on their website. And your goal as a startup is to make it look as good as any Fortune 500 company. Our goal with Tailor is really getting it to the automation level where it seems that you have a full marketing team on the back end. So if you go on their social media channel, for example, it has to post regularly, it has to be interesting, it has to look like something that is being managed.
That's true. Hi. That's a disruption right there. How much? Sorry. In terms of the technicalities of it, I mean, when it comes to automation, when it comes to copywriting, we're dealing with languages. When you try to automate languages, there are certain languages that have simpler word structures, simpler grammar. Does it work better for some markets and some languages when it comes to automation?
So I think there's definitely a difference in the market. I don't know if it's per se easier or harder, but it is the fact that if you're dealing with Latin-based languages, for example, you'll have kind of one area of expertise, and then if I would tomorrow want to move to the Chinese market or to any Semitic language market, then I would basically have to rewire how the machine thinks. If we really start drilling down, you think about every design has a heritage, right? So Chinese design has its own heritage, Latin design has its own heritage, and a lot of that heritage comes from the language. So if we look at old design features, it's usually just typography, right? So it's not so much as harder and easier, it's just a matter of different types of experiences.
So have you heard of the Alibaba AI copywriter that managed to pass the Turing test? I think the news was out a couple of weeks ago. How would you compare Alibaba's offering with your product?
So we do something very different, right? You have a lot, and I'm very happy when we started getting into the market 4 years ago. Nobody was really doing creative ML or creative AI. And I'm seeing more and more companies, big companies, starting to have a go at it. You see Facebook has composed music. You see Google's drawing. You see Alibaba's copywriting. It's not so much competing because they're doing, they're having one purpose for it and we have another one. I'm just very happy of the fact that people are starting to get interested in it.
Interesting. I've spoken about you to a few industry people, and the immediate reaction they get is, oh, you'll be great. The wish list is this kind of automation technology, if it could be applied to paid search advertising copy, and not just churning it out, but analyzing it, optimizing it with A/B testing. Can you do that sometime?
Wait
in the future?
1 year.
Okay.
I think we're very close to that point. If you look at ads, and we tend to look at ads at kind of a general aspect, right? But when we look at ads, we really have three things. If we look at online, we have video ads, we have display ads, and then we have kind of the search ads. Search ads are simply, A/B testing of copywriting, and Google actually released a beta, I think a week ago or a few weeks ago, that does exactly that. Okay. The second portion is, trying to figure out how do you optimize the text with the images and with everything around it. And that's something that I know that we're working on it, but I know that there are a lot of other companies that are looking into that space, and I think we're going to get there because we have more and more small businesses that turn to online advertising. They don't have marketing teams. They can't work with WPP or IPG or Omnicom or Publicis. So somebody needs to cater for them. So I think we're definitely getting to that stage.
I know that you're flying to Japan for a couple of meetings after this. In Japan, they have started experimenting with this AI ECD, executive creative director who used to be a human being, but now it's like completely AI. So to what extent can your two complement that kind of big advertising agency work, or can it take over, or what's the dynamics?
The main question I have when I see these sort of projects is how real they are and how much are they a publicity stunt. And I think what you're referring to was done. I'm forgetting the company. Yeah, yes. Dentsu did that. One of the things is, I think, probably WPP had a campaign in the past with Creativity Beer, okay? It was Deutsche, sorry. Creativity Beer, and the idea was it was a beer they took out that had exactly the percentage of alcohol that you need to drink in order to get to the optimal creative point. Now, it's nice in theory. I don't know how well it works. When I think about that creative director, when you look at ML, the main interest point is how much data does it actually collect, okay? Now, how many clients do those big companies have? They usually deal with, at most 100 clients. Tailor Brands today processes over 500,000 new data points every month. So I would be really interested in seeing how does it actually churn creatives with 100 data points a month or a year.
Okay. So to ensure that you're not just a stunt, can you give me an example of one of the automated results done by your company that might or might not be better than what is done by a human being?
We have today over 7 million businesses using the platform. So it's hard for me to pinpoint one. And in opposed to, a big advertising firm, we work on a fully automated solution.
So you don't know what's going on?
I have no idea. One of the beautiful things about Tailor is I could go on Tailor right now and would have zero idea what it would churn out. But there is if you know Paul Rand used to be kind of the greatest brand designer of all times, and they asked him. He has kind of a famous sentence where they asked him, "What is a good logo?" And he said a logo that people would buy. And it was a joke about the fact that I think he designed the ABC logo, and they asked him what would happen if ABC wouldn't buy it, and he said I would sell it to NBC because it doesn't matter to him. And at the end of the day, I think the proof that it works is the fact that so many businesses today choose Tailor in order to, make their dreams into reality.
All right. So it seems like as long as there's no complaints, you're okay and your business still goes on.
As long as those businesses are growing, I'm feeling fine with our technology.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. Thank you very much, Yali.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara.